Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be one big video. I am featuring Arcado Zodan for this video, as well as two videos from glaivekiyo. We're gonna be diving into the entire thing because I fear that by the time I would have reached this video, it would have gotten deleted or something like that, because we need to get to the bottom of this drama that is happening from glaivekiyo. So we're here with Aricado's video for entertainment, and then we go to the other two.
Just locked character buffs behind quests. How do you feel about this? So
How do I feel about Genshin Impact locking a new? Let's just play the video.
Genshin Impact just locked 3 particles behind critting. How do you feel about this? So Genshin Impact locked Atlas out of the game for 5 years. How do you feel about this? So Genshin Impact just locked Arlecchino behind being a lesbian. How do we feel about this? So Genshin
So Genshin Impact just like free Baba behind main quest of starter region. How do I feel about this? I feel I feel like this needs to be changed, and we should be getting these character off rip for free.
Impact just locked free Barbara behind main quest of starter region. How do you feel about this?
So Genshin Impact just locked Capitana behind his throne. How do you feel about that? I feel this it's ridiculous because he should be playable, and because they put him there, it does mean that we're not gonna be able to play him right now, and I feel offended about it.
Impact just locked Capitano behind his throne. How do you feel about this? So Genshin Impact
Genshin Impact just locked character enhancement behind Mora. How do you feel about this? This is frustrating. I think these character enhancements should be free. We shouldn't have to be using Mora.
just locked character enhancement behind Mora. How do you feel about this?
Disgusted.
So Genshin Impact just locked characters behind certain.
So Genshin Impact just locked characters behind certain updates. How do you feel about that? I feel pissed. I feel like we should have access to all characters at all times, and because we don't have that, it's just ridiculous. I should be playing my Nicole MILS right away.
Updates. How do you feel about this?
Disgusted.
So Genshin Impact locked Dainsleif out of being playable for 5 years. How do you feel about this?
I feel absolutely pissed about that. Like, he should have been playable from day one before we even meet him in the story.
So Genshin Impact just locked Durin talent materials behind this bullshit domain. How do you feel about this?
Why are we even doing domains? We shouldn't be doing domains. Shouldn't be in the game. We're locking advancements for our characters behind domains. I have to play the game in order to get things. I don't like that.
So Genshin Impact just locked the info about an event behind a link. How do you feel about this?
I
So
feel that
Genshin
is
Impact
absolutely predatory because they want me to click the link to give them views on whatever platform they're trying to show, which is just not good. So Genshin Impact just locks Flint behind a gambling system. How do you feel about this? Yeah, this is not good. We should be getting Flints for free. We shouldn't be having to go into any kind of gacha system, period, to get Flints.
just locked Flynn's behind a gambling system.
Unbelievable.
How do you feel about this?
Ridiculous.
So Genshin Impact just locked Flynn's and I can't get him out. How do you feel about this?
I swear to God, everybody just use their Serenity teapot for the most unhinged things.
So Genshin Impact just locked the game behind an application icon. How do you feel about this? So Genshin
Absolutely disgusting. So Genshin Impact just locked up the game behind opening the app store. How do I feel pissed about it. This should be pre-installed. I should just be going on to get, you know what, I should be playing Genshin in my mind. Like, I feel disgusting by this old video.
just locked up the game behind opening the App Store. How do we feel about this? So Genshin Impact is locked behind a download. How do you feel about this?
Why are we downloading the game, man? This is ridiculous. This is why Wuthering Waves is better.
So Genshin Impact just locked the game behind an install feature. How do you feel about this? So Genshin Impact just locked the game installation behind having an internet connection. How do you feel?
I feel this actually predatory, because how are we supposed to play the game without internet access? This doesn't make any sense. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be able to play it offline for free. It should become pre-installed on our PC when we get it. On the motherboard is in the BIOS. It should be just there.
About this. So Genshin Impact just locked their game behind a launcher. How do you feel about this? So Genshin Impact just locked the game behind a login. How do you
All right, let's not go too far. But this old video was just entertaining as hell. I had to start the video off in a good mood before we dive into the serious matter. And let's look at some of the comments from our boy Ricardo. Don't mind me, I'm just rage baiting. I feel disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I knew Hoyo was greedy, but this levels of greed is insane. Genshin Impact locking player playing the characters behind playing the game is insane, and I hate it. Jokes aside, Glaive absolutely got clowned by making the statement, yet he still doesn't learn. So your mom just locked us behind birds. How do you feel about this? This is why I have to make this reaction, man, because it's just so fucking. It's so funny. It's so funny. Let's go. We're gonna start from the beginning. We're gonna start from part one. If it decides to load that.
The world of Ragnarok Online Prime.
I will never play that game. Screw you.
For the last 5 years, the Genshin Impact community has been waiting for a specific moment. We have been waiting for the faceless voices of Teyvat, Alice, Nicole, the Hexen Circle to finally step into the light. Well, yesterday during the version 6.2 special program, we finally got exactly what we asked for. On the surface, this update looks like a victory lap. It feels like the developers finally listened. We have massive lore reveals, a return to Dragonspine, and buffs for characters who have been neglected since launch. It has all the ingredients for a perfect patch, but there is an old saying, be careful what you wish for. Because when you stop looking at the shiny
Okay, let's talk about this beginning. This banner, Durin banner, which we're currently on right now, features Durin, which is the 5-star Bennett. If you're actually a Genshin player, that's a nonce. You cannot skip that character. That's Bennett Premium. You have to get Durin because he's just a second Bennett. It's the insane value that Ian-san was is the insane value that Durin was. And I think other characters fulfill that role somewhat. Movika and the Pyro Traveler. But people likely mostly use Ian-san more than the Pyro Traveler for that issue because she kind of buffs as well. Durin is that. So Durin is a must pull. And the fact that his banner includes Yahoda, which I really like her. Her kit is gonna be pretty good and pretty strong for non-crack characters moving forward. Farazan, which if you don't have her at C6, I just got her at C6, and a very very good character for animal teams, and Bennett for the 100th time, and I've only gotten into each. I played too much on Kaistara. I only got him to C3 right now. I'm planning maybe to get him to C5. Probably. I'm going to be pulling on Durin banner a little bit more. Hopefully I get Durin. Because I'm at 50-50, I'm hoping for the W. So, Hoyo, look at me. I'm making content defending your game. So you should be making me win the 50-50. Also, guys, like and subscribe. I'm going to make a video about that later on in the video. But I know, like and subscribe.
Cinematics and start
A
reading
best value banner.
That this update is less of a gift and more of a trade. We are getting the story we wanted, but the price tag is a set of restrictive systems.
Really
Quality
no.
of life updates and a monetization strategy that preys on your patience. Today I want to break down the Luna 3 update. We're going to look past the hype and talk about what this patch actually means for the future.
yes, we have to look past the hype. Accept what it's with our ways. We are gonna just don't use any details and just glaze the hell out of what our ways. When it comes to Hoyo, let's not talk about all the good stuff that is happening. Let's just focus on not even the bad stuff, but the things that we want to make look bad.
Of the game. If you appreciate this kind of honest, level-headed deep dives into the state of the game, consider leaving a like on the video. And if you want to stick around for more commentary like this, hitting subscribe is the best way to support the channel. It really does help. Now let's talk about the cost
You
of
hear that? Hitting subscribe is the best way to support the channel. Thank you.
nostalgia. We need to talk about the timing. If you look at the history of Genshin Impact, the X.2 patches, the ones that come right after the initial hype of a new nation wears off, are usually pretty quiet. They are kind of like the filler patches where we save our primo gems and maybe do
That's a lie. Like, do you even play Oyo games? Like, the story normally for Oyo games lasts from, like, let's say 2. We're gonna use 2 as an example. 2.0 to around 2.4, 2.5. 2.5 is like when it started to die off a little bit, but 2.0 to 2.5 is where it will last. There may be a break in 2.5 and 2.6, and then the daily quest will come out in 2.7. And for me, as I've said earlier in a reaction to, well, not really a reaction, in my thoughts on the story, because I haven't played the story, I have like given this kind of part of my content a break so I can focus on the story a little bit. And then there's the fact that I just went through a hurricane. We finally got back light. But looking at it, we don't get filler patches in a 2.2. We're like in the middle of the main story. The main story is not wrapped up yet. I've seen what the story teaser is for this one. It's like we're celebrating Columbina's like departure, like she's trying to depart or something, and then something bad is gonna happen. Like that is important stuff. It's not filler patch. So I don't get this idea of filler patch. What is the filler patch? Was Wooden Race 2.5, where it just literally felt like dog shit. And I don't think Genshin Impact is doing anything close to that. We have a lot of events, unlike 2.7 in Wooden Waves. So I don't get what this idea is. But like, you have to try to spin the narrative whenever you want.
a festival event. But looking at the 6.2 special program, it feels like someone at Hoyoverse looked at a chart, saw player interest dipping, and smashed the big red button. Because what we just saw wasn't a standard update trailer, it was a lore nuke. I mean, think about it. For 5 years, literally half a decade, Alice was just a voice coming out of a gramophone or a name on a travel guide. Nicole was just a mysterious voice in our heads at the end of the Fontaine Archon quest.
Fam, does this guy even watch Woodard? Bro, this was... I can't believe I'm fucking doing this, but let me show you something, bro. Because it seems like people don't really get this, but like these characters, it's not the first time we're hearing about it. Even in terms of the way they look and something like that, it's not the first time, bro. Where is it? Genshin Impact, right? Let's get back. I want to get to the exact video in particular. This is where he's talking about we are finally meeting these characters for the first time, right? Which I'm guessing is what he's saying, right? Where is it? It was a character teaser. Way back. I have it read. You see how far I have to be going for this shit? This. No, it wasn't this. It was after this. It was after this. This. It should be this. Right? Around 4 months ago, we already knew about these characters way back when, like, and how they look too. We're not seeing them for the first time.
These are characters the community has been begging to see since the game launch. And suddenly, with zero warning, here they are in 3D, walking, talking, and fully modeled. Dropping them now isn't random, it's calculated. It is a move designed
Fam, we have known about this character all design for like 4 months now. Like, it's a while now. Where have you been? What rock have you been in, bro? Come on.
Designed to generate peak hype during a time of year when the game usually sleeps. They know exactly what they're
What? Genshin had never slept in a 6.2, in a 0.2 ever. What are you talking about? If you had said this in a 0.5 or 0.6, I can understand that. But a 0.2 in the middle of a story, in a new region story, is sleeping. I don't know what kind of drugs you're on, glaivekiyo, but your brain needs to be checked out because this is a stupid. I can see why you got all the hate. This is
doing.
dog
Then
shit.
there is Durin. If you're a veteran player, or if you have just been around long enough to hear the stories, you know that version 1.2, the Chalk Prince and the Dragon, is widely considered one of the best events in the game's history. It is the good old days for a lot of people. By bringing Durin back to Mondstadt, giving him a human form, and tying his story to Albedo and Klee, the developers are using your nostalgia. They're taking your fondest memories of the early game and selling them back to you as
Yes, God forbid. God forbid. No, let me go in full screen. God forbid Genshin Impact do a story. God forbid. God forbid, right? Because this doesn't make no sense. Well, like even recently, it is we were there live when Albedo was turning Doran into a human. We didn't see the full reveal yet. Many people may use it and say that it's just lazy development, but that is a part of telling a story. But it is what it is.
a new feature. It is smart. It is incredibly smart, but it is also a bit of a magic trick. Take a closer look at the trailer again, okay? It looks crowded, doesn't it? You see Varka, the
It's called storytelling, you dumb fuck. What the
missing Grandmaster everyone has wanted since launch. You see Columbina, the Damselettes finally taking center stage. You see the release cast from earlier like Llama and Nefer and Flens. The trailer builds an illusion of a massive roster updates, making it feel like the game is exploding with new options. But look at the banners, the actual list of characters you can pull for. It is just Durin and Jehoda. All of those heavy hitters, Varka, Columbina, they're just there to look pretty in cutscenes. They are the carrot on a stick. The developers dangle them in front of you to keep you running on the treadmill, promising that maybe next time you will catch them. But for now, they just want you to stay logged in. And that
this is a stupid take. So this is basically saying that, okay, like how everybody is not gonna be on the banner, don't show everybody else. Just show the character that's gonna be up. And this doesn't make any sense either, because if they did that, they'll be like, oh, they don't want to show you the other characters, so you're baited to pull him alone. It's kind of a stupid take. It really is.
is the
Bro,
takeaway
I understand Glaive Kiev is dumb as fuck, but like this is not it.
here. This update highlights the transactional nature of Hoyoverse's relationship with its player base. They are trading on your emotional investments. They know you care about these characters. They know you have waited 5 years for Alice. The story content genuinely looks like a 10 out of 10 though. I'm not denying that. It looks incredible. But we have to be honest about what it is. It is a beautiful, expensive curtain designed to hide the fact that the
Glaive, Glaive, Glaive. This is a premium Bennett. Everybody's gonna be pulling for him. It's a premium Bennett. What are they supposed to do? Release everybody one time? This is something that you just can't please anybody. Say, for example, they decided, okay, let's not release Durin, let's release Alice. People are gonna be complaining, why didn't they release Durin? I wanted the 5-star Bennett. Why did they release Nicole? I wanted Nicole. Why didn't they release Rock? Like, you can. This is the stupid. You
actual systems behind the game, the gameplay loop, the grind, the end game, are barely moving an inch. They are betting that if the lore is good enough, you won't notice that the machine running it is starting to rust. And judging by the community reaction, they might be right. But while the narrative team is operating at peak performance, the systems team seems to be stuck in a time loop. And this is where the excitement starts to turn into exhaustion. Let's talk about the Hexerai buffs. If you have been playing Genshin Impact since the beginning, you know
Before he start talking nonsense and misinformation, let me get this straight. The fact that Genshin Impact on its own is buffing characters to begin with and changing mechanics and even constellations of certain characters, it's it may seem like a small news, but it's big news because this is something that Genshin Impact has been trying not to do for years. And the fact that they're even doing this is a good sign that there is changes on the horizon. Because if you listen to content creators like glaivekiyo and Saint Tontas, the main and Asmongold as well, fuck you. The main people that try to push the narrative that Genshin Impact doesn't listen to players and stuff like that, they're actually doing things that benefit the player base, that are changes that they normally wouldn't do, which is changes, but they just won't give credit for that. They'll try to find some way to tell a lie to spin the narrative that is not really the case. Like anybody that actually is informed on what the hell is going on in Genshin Impact knows that these guys are talking shit out of their mouth. But anybody that is following this idiot and the bigger idiot with the glasses is gonna look at it and say, "Oh, let's take his word for gospel," when they're just talking a lot of crap. It's stupid. Like,
the pain of Albedo. For 5 years since 2020, his entire kit has had one fatal flaw. If an enemy so much as breathes on his flower, it breaks, it shatters. It makes him completely useless in a content where you actually need him. And then you have Klee, whose attacks have always felt clunky and slow, like trying to drive a car with square wheels. The community has been asking for these fixes for half a decade, and in version 6.2, Hoyoverse finally said, "Okay, we did it. Albedo's flower is now indestructible. Klee's attacks are now smooth." Hey, that's great news, right? Well, read the fine print. These aren't actually fixes to the characters. They didn't go into the code and update Albedo's base kit. Instead, these are conditional passives. You only get the indestructible flower, and you only get the smooth Klee attacks if you have at least 2 Hexerai characters in your party. I mean, think about what that actually means. You are no longer allowed to build the team that you want. If you want Albedo,
okay, so it's kind of hypocritical that he's complaining that this is a problem when in Wuthering Waves, the game that he plays, you need Phoebe if you're running Zani. You need, if you're running Augusta. What else I'm thinking of? Their teams are gonna build like you need this character. If you're using Gabriela, you need that Dan Hong. So it's hypocritical, but it's okay. Like I think this is fine. The reason why is the whole buff is not centered around you have to get the newest unit because the newest unit is gonna activate it. It's old units. If you're playing Klee and Albedo together, this buff will be activated. If you're playing Mona or who else is it on it, like Fischl and Sucrose is one of them. Like you don't really have to pull a new character, and this is just buff to old characters. This would be like complaining that why do we have a specific buff when you add like 2 hydro characters in the party or 2 geo characters or 2 pyro characters for the attack boost, and why is this not a universal buff to begin with? I think them buffing Klee may be a factor of me maybe pulling for Klee in the future, but I kind of have like 7 different pyro DPS. I don't think I need any more pyro DPS. I kind of have a boner for pyro and electro DPS. Like I have like 4 on electro side. Yeah, I think it's 4. I think it's like Versa, Chloran, Kitchen, and Raiden. And for Pyro, it's Arlecchino, Mavica. I'm not sure if I want to use D-Luke anymore. I used to use Yan Fei for a while. So maybe it's just two. Maybe I get one more. It's gonna be Alice. It's gonna be one more Pyro DPS. But should I just cap it off and just use Klee as well? I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. Like I have this problem where I just like give I'm going off topic too much, but I have this problem where I just give my favorite element too much love and I give other element little to no love, and I struggle sometimes in game because of it. Like say for example, I've never built a bloom team. Like I'm literally just building the bloom team right now.
To function properly, to do the bare minimum of what his kit is supposed to do, you are forced to drag along a specific teammates. And let's look at the roster. Albedo is Geo. All of the other Hexarai characters are not Geo. That ruins his synergy, right? You want double Geo in your team? In the grand scheme of things, Albedo, despite the buffs, is still going to
So he doesn't know how to play Albedo. You don't necessarily need double. And I'm not gonna explain the kit of Albedo for him. Like this is just something that he's gonna be using because people are just not gonna do the necessary research to know that he's talking bullshit. But it is what it is. Albedo is akin to like a Navi or something like that, where it benefits from different elements in the. I'm not gonna get into it.
be behind in meta, unless of course you pull for the new character. Durin just so happens to be a Hexarai character, providing that synergy that Albedo needs to be meta again. This stops looking like a
So whoa,
balance.
whoa, 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 whoa. Let's listen to that carefully. He said that Albedo is not useful with the other Hexen Circle characters because they're not Geo, right? And then he bring up Durin, which is not a Geo character. It's a Pyro character. So what is it exactly that Durin has that, let's say, another Pyro character, Klee doesn't have? Because like if Pyro is okay, then Klee should be okay too, right? Because it's the same thing. Did something else happen? Is Durin a Geo character and I just didn't know? What is it? Tell me.
And starts looking like a sales tactic. They're selling you the solution to a problem they created 5 years ago, and the price tag is a new 5-star unit. They've effectively turned quality of life
Kind of stupid. 5 years ago, the game 5 years ago was totally different than it is now. Like Albedo kit would have been working pretty good back then in the first half, but it's just not gonna be working now given that how much changes has happened to enemy characters and stuff like that. So what are we talking about? Like any type of buff for old characters is pretty good, and this is just gravy installed. In case you have these old characters, you get a buff or update for them. I think that is absolutely beautiful because the people that are rejoicing about this are not people that are wanting to spend on this character new. It's people that have these character bench, seeing that they're gonna be getting a little bit of life kicked into them. That's really good. When I saw the life kicked into Kafka in Honkai Star Rail, I absolutely enjoyed, and I actually used the team again. With Kafka, Black Swan, Rami, and Ling Sha. So this is absolutely positive for anybody that has these characters, or if like say for example me who really liked Klee but didn't pull her because like I heard a lot of bad things about her being clunky. Now that she's not clunky, I can see and envision something in my head with Klee. I can get E1 Klee after I pull her. I can get user Klee, Mona, and then I figure out what I was gonna do after that, the other two slot. So I can envision teams that I can make from it. I don't know, man.
life into a luxury product, and it sets a terrifying precedent for the future. We all joke about Daya being one of the worst units in the game. If they ever decide to fix her in version 7.0 maybe, are they going to just buff her numbers? Or are they going to tell us that Daya is only good if we spend $100 on her very specific best friend partner? It removes your agency as a player. Instead of giving us a sandbox to play in, they are handing us a...
So I can see the problem that people have with him with this video is because he's trying to misrepresent the situation here. Like the way him or Saint Tontas will paint the narrative here is that in order to get this new buff, you have to pull Durin. When that's not the case, because they can't read. The way you get this buff is by having two of the witch characters in your teams, which is either Venti, Klee, Mona, Fischl, Sucrose, and Razor and Albedo. So you don't have to spend $100 on the game in order to get this buff. This is just fake news.
Script and telling us exactly who to hire. And honestly, after waiting 5 years, that doesn't feel like a reward, it feels like a ransom. And then we have the updates that are supposed to respect your time, or at least pretend to. Let's look at the optimization for daily commissions. The developers proudly announced a change that sounds good on paper. You no longer need to open your adventurer handbook to claim your encounter points. You can just now walk straight up to Catherine and collect your primo gems. And now if you have played Honkai Star Rail or Wuthering Waves or Zenless Zone Zero, or basically any modern gacha game released in the last 3 years, you know how this usually works. You finish your task, you tap a button on your screen, and you get your currency. Done. Instant gratification. You don't have to go anywhere. But Genshin insists on doing things the hard way. By removing the open handbook step, they technically saved us what, like 1 or maybe 2 clicks? But they kept the part that actually wastes your time. The teleporting, the running through the city, the loading screen, the talking to Catherine. It feels like a stubborn refusal to admit that their design is outdated. It is as if they believe
Are people PCs that low, that slow, that they're complaining about loading the screen in Genshin Impact when that literally takes like 2 seconds or a second? Oh my god. It's the brain dead mentality of these Wuthering Waves CCs where they expect everything to be handed to them on a silver pattern because they have no fucking skills whatsoever. Just it takes no time whatsoever to this. I enjoy it too. It's like, so sure, having it that way. Look at the difference here. How should I put this? If I had to play Honkai Star Rail, right? And in order to claim my stuff, I had to go back to the train to claim it. It will give use to that area. If I don't have to do that anymore, I'll just never ever visit the town of any of these areas one bit. Like, I am okay with it. I am okay with it. I understand people. It's like, why are you playing the game to begin with if you're gonna be hating every aspect and every core mechanic of the game? It'll be like if I'm gonna play Minecraft and I'm gonna be pissed that I have to find the resources to build a portal to the Nether. Like it, I'll be like, oh, why can't I just have the portal ready so I can just get there? You're literally just complaining. Why am I playing the game? Like, and even the system, screw you, Genshin Impact. The system is set up in such a way where it rewards you if you're actually playing the game, but if you're a tourist, it's gonna be very hard for you, or it's gonna take a lot longer for you to clear or complete the commissions. But if you're playing actively every day, it's gonna take like a second or two. Maybe that's a little bit of overaction. Maybe 3 minutes. It's gonna take no time at all. But if you're not playing, it's gonna take a while. And this is why people like glaivekiyo and Saint does have problems, because they're tourists. They just log in to spread misinformation and that's it.
That forcing us to physically visit the Adventurers Guild makes the world feel more immersive or lived in. But they are prioritizing that aesthetic.
Though I have to mention this one thing. I've cleared Spiral Abyss up to 411. And as I tell you guys, I don't build any Hyperbloom teams. I face this crab, right? And the crab throws down some stuff, and I say, okay, I'm gonna just blaze through it. And then it came all over the floor with all of its seeds. And in order to get rid of the seeds, I have to use Hyperbloom reaction. And I'm like, crab was just up in the air looking down at me, and I'm looking up at it, and I'm like, what are we doing? Maybe I make a video on it. That's dog shit.
The feeling of role-playing an adventurer over the reality that we have been doing this exact same chore every single day for 5 years.
But I have the preferences on me because I refused to build a Hyperbloom team for so long, even though I had all the tools necessary to do that. I'm currently building the Hyperbloom team now, but I'm just really, really pissed when I'm like there. Who was I using again? I think it was my Skirk team. I was just there waiting to just please the hell out of it, brute force it, and like I'm just looking up at the crab, and the crab is just looking down at me, and all the seeds are on the ground. And they're just there waiting for me to do a Hyperbloom reaction. And I'm like,
at this point, it is not immersion, it is just a commute. And here's the funny part, right? I guarantee you that most of us are still going to open the handbook anyway. It is muscle memory. Your brain is wired to press that book icon the second you finish a quest. So you're going to open the book, realize that you don't have to, close it, and then teleport to Catherine.
okay,
so
thank
in the
you.
end, this major quality of life update is a half measure.
Okay, my memory is so good. I list them all. See, having any two hexagon characters in the party will grant the hexagon secret right effect. So it doesn't have to be Durin. It could be Mona Cruz, Clay, Abedo, Venti, Official, Razor, if you're that crazy, and somebody else. It doesn't have to be. God forbid Genshin tried to make people utilize all characters that is gathering dust on your account. God forbid.
Again, while it solves the minor inconvenience of clicking a menu, it completely ignores the major friction of interrupting gameplay to travel to a city. It is a change that looks great on a patch note, but in practice, it changes nothing. And then we have to talk about how they are filling the void. We have known for a long time that Genshin struggles with permanent endgame content.
Okay, so I've used the as a system a lot, so it does. Like, all right, let me get this thing. If you complete all the commissions, right, and you use some of the encounter points, you can't just not go into the book and then go straight to Catherine and collect the rewards. You have to go into the book and claim the rewards. Then you can talk to Catherine. You kind of get what I mean? So that's what they're cutting out. Like now, you don't have to open the book. You can just go straight and claim it. This is what they did. Now, because I know I have experience with it because I've experienced it myself.
Their solution is the Miliastra Wonderland. Essentially, it is a creative mode. It lets players build their own dungeons and obstacle courses, right? On paper, that is fine. A specific niche of the community loves this stuff, and it keeps people busy between updates. The problem is, you are the ones spending hours building content for their game. You are keeping their community engaged, and their response is to charge you. It doesn't make sense. This strategy effectively monetizes the community's attempt to fix the lack of content. It is like inviting someone to paint a mural on your wall for free and then charging them for the paint. What? But anyways, where does that leave us? When you step back
This is my response to this, and I make sure I don't delete this yet because I'm currently going to be deleting this soon. Let me show you something. Where is it? You see this game? Let's launch it. This game, right? Which I need to. This is how long I haven't played this. The funny thing about this is that this Roblox, very successful, is doing the exact same thing that Genshin's new sandbox mode is doing. It's a area that allows you to create fun games, and honestly to God, if they were like charging you for playing it or accessing it, then I understand and people should absolutely complain about it. But in this game, Roblox, right? You have cosmetics that you have to pay a lot of money for in real life. And why people are outraged and criticizing this when Genshin Impact is just doing the exact same thing that is done here. It's no different. It's the exact same shit. The exact same shit. Like nobody's forcing you to buy the cosmetics. Like you have to buy the cosmetics. And I've heard that Genshin Impact is doing some changes to make it at least somewhat accessible for free to play players, but I've heard from Brad that it's not the best yet, so maybe they need to revamp that a little bit. But like you're not forced to get this. So I think we have reached the
back and look at
end
version
here.
6.2 as a whole, it feels like the perfect snapshot of what Genshin Impact has become. It is a game at war with itself. On one side, you have the narrative team. These guys are operating at a masterclass level. They are giving us Alice, they are fleshing out the lore of the world's border, and they are handling Durin's return with genuine care and emotion. They know exactly how to make us feel something. But then on the other side, you have the systems team. And these guys seem stuck in a design philosophy that is archaic. It is literally old and outdated. They are giving us buffs that are locked behind specific teammates. They are giving us quality of life updates that still force us to teleport across the map to talk to an NPC. It clarifies
The hypocrisy is unreal, given the entirety of 2.0 in whatever ways was thus get this unit to make this unit function. That's the entirety of whatever ways 2.0 up. And I can't say that isn't the exact same thing in Honkai Star. It's very similar to, but like to not criticize Wither Waves and then to come and criticize Genshin Impact for this buff because Wither Waves is not buffing their old unit. Whatever, these are things that I would have never expect I would be saying ever. I would have never expect me to come out here and say that Genshin Impact buff old characters before Wooden Ways. I would have never expected to say that. I would have never expected to say that out of an anniversary. Wooden Ways is the only game that didn't give a free 5-star on their anniversary. I would have never expected to say that. And I don't know what the big changes ever since Tencent took over Wooden Waves that it has gotten completely down the drain. And because these brain dead content creators are not calling it out, Wither Waves is getting away with it. And then they have the balls to turn around and criticize Genshin Impact for doing slightly not even at the level that Wither Waves is doing it. And they complain about it in Hoyo games. It's insane to see, bro.
the transaction we have with this developer. Think about what the game demands from you. It demands your time. By refusing to streamline daily chores, it demands your money by sending up these calculated banner traps. And it demands your patience, asking you to wait 5 years just to fix a skill that wasn't working right. And in exchange for all of that frustration, it gives you moments of absolute brilliance in the story. Asking if this is a good update is the wrong question. The real question is whether the lore payoff is enough to make us forgive the fact that the game refuses to evolve. It feels like being served a gourmet meal, the best steak you have ever seen, perfectly cooked, smelling amazing, but
Man, this is bullshit. Because I've said it before. The fight with I hate this. The fight with Renier didn't feel like a Genshin fight. It felt completely different. that if that isn't the sign of something that they are actively looking at ways to change this game, then I don't know what is, because they are actually doing it. And for you to come here and say, like, look at Genshin Impact now compared to 1.0, it's completely different game. Like, I even had this recently where I was playing Genshin on the cloud, right, on my mobile, and I had a hard time discerning if it was mobile graphics or PC graphics. And it turned out it was PC graphics. And because the barrier between both of them are literally very, very close, it was hard to tell for me. That does say how far mobile gaming has become, but like how far the graphics has gone on mobile in particular. But like, oh my god, it's
It is served
insane.
on a chipped, dirty plate. The food is incredible, maybe. You're going to eat it, and you're probably going to enjoy it. But the whole time, you can't quite ignore the mess it is sitting on. But anyways, I'm curious where you stand on this straight off. Does the reveal of Alice and the fix to Albedo, even with all of the strings attached, right, outweigh the frustration of all of these restrictions? Or does
Like, let's see the comments, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the final video, because it's very insane. It's very insane. Okay, refuse to load. Again, I can fix this, but I just need to remove all the. This game I will not play because it's anti-goon, and you know, I might get killed for not for playing it. This type of video where the comment section is much better. I don't spread misinformation, I just lie. That one friend who hates everything. Glaive should marry misinformation at this point. Going perfectly hand in hand. Weird. I thought Tech don't left gotcha behind. If misinformation was a person. This video is locked behind a play button. How do you do we feel about this? However, Hoya release bad rerun, scam. Hoya release good rerun, predatory. Hoyo is evil to check notes bill hype. It's literally their job. And what they've always done. I don't know why you're mad that they're showing long awaited characters. Would you rather have them never shown up at all? Now, I don't know if this video would be covering it. I remember watching one of Kale Diapra's video on somebody was reacting to. I don't remember who, but I think it was Max NRP. I don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but he tried to. There's this leader of the fractures that we literally just heard about, and he was trying to compare it to Madara Uchiha from Naruto Shippuden. I love that character. You don't know how I love that character. My name in Roblox is, you know, I'm not gonna spoil that. I'm not gonna talk to myself, but it literally has Uchiha in it. I love Madara Uchiha. I love Naruto. Madara is one of my favorite villains of all time. That man was hyped for decades in Naruto, the original Naruto. When he came out, his name was so powerful, he created world peace. Like, whatever this guy that we're just now figuring out about recently in Wooden Waves just started to mention, that's not how you build hype on a character. The way you build hype is, let's say for example, Varka. The way of Varka has been mentioned from day one, and over the time we haven't seen him, but we have heard about him, and now he's finally getting released, and we see him and what he can is capable of, some side and things like that. That's how you build up a character. You don't build up a character by talking about him in this patch and then releasing the next patch. That doesn't make any sense. That's how you build a character. The way you build a character up, a hype character, that has to be mentioned for a while. There has to be some kind of weight. Like, there was literally no weight for that character. You know what? Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get to the real job.
I learned that ChatGPT works best with detailed prompts.
Yeah, go screw yourself.
For the past few days, there has been a narrative going around that I am a tourist, an outsider who doesn't play the game, doesn't care about the
For this one exception, I could have made 3 videos in this, but I'm making all in one because let's read the comments. I just realized he didn't even touch the showing Alice right now is predatory situation in the video. The most problematic thing in this video was spending $1,000 on Niffer. This is what I've been saying the entire time. Like, videos recommended. This is what I've been saying the entire time. Like, this makes no sense that you hate something and you're actively dropping money on the game. It makes no freaking sense whatsoever. There's a lot of food I hate, and you don't see me going out daily and buying that food that I hate. Let me ask you a question in the comments below. You have a food that you hate. I know you do. Are you actively going out and spending money buying that food that you hate? No. Let me tell you one thing I don't like. You know, you think that vegetables are good for you, you know, and there's this canned vegetable juice, right? And I accidentally take it up by accident. And tomato juice, those two I hate these. I do love carrot juice, but that's another story that I will tell right now too. I don't buy that. I do not buy vegetable juice. I do not buy tomato juice because I hate the hell out of it. One time when I was in high school, and my mom, she made carrot juice at the time, you know. So I thought the juice that was in the container was carrot juice. It wasn't. It was tomato juice. And I tasted it one time and I said, what the hell is this? I threw it away. I threw away the entire thing. And then my mom come in and my mom was like, why did you drink all of the tomato juice? And that was tomato juice. I threw that entire shit away because that shit just tastes disgusting. There is no way you're actively supporting something that you do not like. It just makes no sense. Which means that they're either lying to people or something else. And this is why Saint Tontas and glaivekiyo, whenever there's a new character that comes out in horror games, they always mention it by the monetary value because they're not playing the game. They're just going on spending money on the character. And the reason why they try to hate on horror games is because you're required to do just more than just pulling on the new units. Saint Tontas did that shit and failed horribly when he pulled on Hugo trying to look cool and just didn't know how to play the character. That's why he hates Zenitsu Zero so much, because you have to know the character's kit and know the boss that you're going up against in order to clear in game. And if you don't have those knowledge, you're gonna suck at the game. So that's the whole reason why these guys hate the game. The whole video, one sentence summary, sorry but not sorry. He's doubling down on the how do you feel about this? How do you feel about? Oh my god, I love this. Flova was locked for 1.5 years. How do you feel about this? I love how he barely talk about the actual issue of his video and instead spends all the time talking about how much he loves Genshin and defending strawman arguments. Kiev just locked his apology behind not addressing the problem. Oh my god. Oh my god. Absolutely love this. Let's get into it.
and is just here to farm drama because I got a few facts wrong. And usually when a content creator goes
You got a few facts wrong. You got a lot of shit wrong. You always get a lot of shit wrong. You and Saint Tontas always get a lot of shit wrong.
Goes into a situation like this, the instinct is to double down, to make a clapback video, turn up the saturation, and start a war to farm engagement. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know that is exactly what I've been doing over there. I have been fanning the flames and laughing at the backlash because
Wait. Reverse. I want to see
follow me
something.
on Twitter, you know that is exactly what I've been doing over there. I have been fanning the flames.
All right, let me see my Oh, okay. I was. Oh, so it was Gwenaifen, because I was saying that this. Let me zoom in because like it's gonna be hard for you to see here. I need to stop doing that. I don't know why I'm just comfortable with that, but like, look at it. I said this doesn't look like Gwenaifen. This is the color pattern is too. The pose is very similar. What the? Holy shit! Wait. The pose is one to fucking. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh hell no. This is not it. I believe this is Servo. This is not Firefly. Totally different. This I can see it. Same exact pose. What the fuck? It's just different here. Same all right, I see what people are saying with this one. This one is mostly for the eyes, I believe. I don't know if it's the exact same. I think she looks like Bronny Moore and Robin Moore, I should say. I see why. Same leg pose, same kind of aura. I, yo, yo. I'm glad I wasn't the one that called it out. I'm glad I'm not the one that
I'm
called it out.
laughing at the backlash because, frankly, seeing people lose their minds over blatant rage bait tweets was funny to me. But here on this channel, I am not doing that. Because while Twitter is a circus, this channel is where I actually care. And the truth is, regarding the video I posted here, the community was right on a few specific points. I let my exhaustion and my frustration cloud my accuracy, and I made mistakes that I need to own up to. However, on the
Okay.
core issues, the system, the monetization, and the direction of the game, I haven't changed my mind. In fact, there is a reaction to my video, and it only convinced me that we need to have this conversation even more. So today, I want to clear the air. I want to apologize for where I was wrong, correct the record on where I was right, and explain why being a disappointed fan is not the same thing as being a fake one. Now let's talk about the state of Genshin Impact. To have an honest conversation about the state
After
of the
watching
game,
that, after watching this video, that's why I made sure I'm using this in one video only. The entirety of this trilogies. I could split it up easily in 3 parts, but I'm gonna use it as one single video, so it's all connected. From what I've seen from that video, it was just him trying to say that the buff is locked behind you have to pull for new units. Example, you have to pull for Durin. A misrepresentation of the buff itself when the buff is to bring new characters to life. And his problem is that in order to activate this buff, you have to have 2 of the witch characters in the same party, which I don't understand why is it a bad thing to find synergy between these 2 characters, which you can probably easily find some synergy between 2 characters, because for Genshin, you're matching elements. It's just water. The same water that Barbara uses, the same water that Mona uses, the same water that Farina uses. Water is water. The same ice that Eula uses, the same ice that Gani uses, the same ice that Skirk uses, even though Skirk is using fake ice. But that's a lore video. Let's not get into that. I don't know why she wasn't quantum. Fix that, Genshin Impact. But you kind of get what I'm saying. The core aspect of his video is to paint Genshin Impact in a bad light for buffing all characters. And the way they went about doing it, then it should be just a straight up buff. You don't have to follow out the requirements in order to get this buff. I don't know, man.
have to start by being honest about my own work. In my last video, I made a specific claim about the history of 0.2 patches, calling them filler. Looking back at the timeline, Dragon Spine in version 1.2 and all of the 0.2 versions going forward, that statement was objectively incorrect. I was wrong. The truth is, I allowed the absolute drought of version 6.
This is gonna tie into another video that I'm talking about. This is what Joshua needs to do. The whole situation between Joshua and Arcada's all that, you need to do that. You need to just come out and say, I was wrong. Because in the situation between you and Arcada's all that, you was 100% wrong. And you shouldn't have called Arcado saying Tontas. Calling any CC saying Tontas is one of the biggest disrespect you can give to that CC, because Saint Tontas does outright straight up lie. And to give Arcado's all that is credit, even though he works, he still find the time to make sure that he does his research before he start talk about stuff, which is something that I absolutely respect. And you should apologize for that.
0.1, which by the way, statistically had the lowest event counts in the game's history for the 0.1 patches, to color my view.
Oh Lord. So in order to say that, oh, I'm wrong, but technically I'm not wrong, you shouldn't be counting event counts with the shit that Wither is pulling 2.7. There was no event.
Of the entire cycle, and maybe you don't feel that way.
I love you, CJ.
Miliastra Wonderland, and with no regional expansions either, I projected the dryness of the last 6 weeks onto.
This is bullshit. I don't know where this Wither Ways shit come from, where in order for a patch to be good, there has to be some kind of expansion to the world. This is why Wither Ways is a buggy mess, because every single time they drop an update, they're dropping a new area that's buggy, and it's causing significant strain on the game itself. Thankfully, they're working towards fixing this. I look forward to see how they do it. I will be picking up the game back again when the time comes, but in the meantime, I'm just sticking to the gacha games that I love.
The last 5 years, and that was a lapse in judgment, and that is on me, and I apologize. Related to that, I also misspoke regarding Miliastra Wonderland. I used an analogy about paying for.
Imagine having all those niffers to yourself, man. Like, I have a video that I should be making that is coming soon. I don't want to talk about it here because like it's gonna spoil a lot of things. Oh, it's something related to My Hero Academia. That's all I can say. So we'll get into that when the time comes. But imagine having all of these niffers for yourself. Like, she would be the perfect girl to date because she can make clones of herself. That'd be insane, bro.
Paint, and that didn't land because, yes, the base tools are free. It was a clumsy metaphor that distracted from the actual conversation I wanted to have about labor ethics, and so I'm retracting that specific comparison. I made a few videos about Miliastra already, talking about how it's so hated, and I got carried away because they did nothing to address the issues, gave us polls, and people are calling them generous for it. It is frustrating, to be honest, but that is why I was tilted. Finally, I want to address the comments about my tone. People mentioned that I sounded detached, and some people took that as a sign that I don't care about the game anymore. I am not detached. I am burnt out. That flatness you heard wasn't a lack of passion. It was just exhaustion. But let's not talk about me, right? Let's talk about my opinions. Because I don't want your pity, I want your trust. While I accept the criticism on my history and my tone, there is one narrative going around that I need to shut down right now. The idea that I am a tourist, that I am an outsider who doesn't actually play the game anymore and just here to farm drama. Now let's look at the receipts. Because in version 6.1, the very patch people claim I didn't play, I spent $1,000 to see 6 Nefer. I streamed the Miliastra Wonderland for hours.
Now, I want to say a lot of things about this, and I go into details. I thank God Kaladiapa didn't see it right away, so it doesn't look like I am just ripping this video off one to one. But this is the exact same shit that happened to Genocide. And screw you saying don't us for figuring that out right away, you smart son of a bitch. But this is the exact same thing Genocide said, that I'm allowed to criticize Wither Ways because I spend money in the game. This is what this guy is saying. I'm allowed to criticize Genshin Impact because I spend money in the game. That is bullshit. Spending money in the game doesn't mean you're playing the game actively. A tourist is a tourist. I can not play the game for a month and I come in and drop a huge load on the game and then step out. I'm a tourist. It, spending money on the game doesn't mean that I'm not a tourist. A tourist is if you're playing the game occasionally. If you're just visiting, that's the whole idea of being a tourist. Unless you're like playing the game every single day and you have a track record of that, then that is a perfect example of you not being a tourist. Spending money on the game doesn't mean that you're not a tourist. It doesn't defend your statement whatsoever. You're still in the boat. Why they call you a story? Shit, fucking hell. Why they call you a tourist is because you have a clear lack of understanding of the game. And to burst the bubble, it's not that glaivekiyo and Saint Tontas don't understand the situation. It's just that they try to make sure that they're talking so vague to spread misinformation. Their main audience is not the educated, not the people that actually know what is going on in Genshin Impact or any of these Hoyo games, is to farm their audience of brain dead idiots that can't think for themselves. That's why I love my community of people that can think for themselves and actually have good words and can communicate for themselves. Every single time I interact with majority of Saint Tontas or glaivekiyo or Tectones followers, it's always them rehashing the exact same things the Tectone, glaivekiyo, or Saint Tontas have said in the past. And that is why it's so easy to debate them, because they're just talking bullshit. And once I press them about anything, even slightly, they just don't have any answer for that, because Saint Totus and glaivekiyo again and Tectone never really give a follow up on whatever their opinion is, so they only have the base opinion to go off of.
And I don't say this to flex, I say it to make a very specific point. At tourist visits, I live here. I have a crippling gambling addiction. I
Oh
am
yeah,
the one funding the server so free-to-play players can enjoy the game. So when I criticize Genshin, I am not doing it as a hater looking in from the outside. I am doing it as a high-investment customer who wants the product to match the price tag. And
the other thing. Again, the analogy that I gave him in the past. You can't say you hate something and actively spending money in the game, because he did say he didn't like it. If you don't like the way Genshin Impact is progressing, why not quit? I don't like the way Wuthering Waves was progressing back on the anniversary, and I quit. Why can't you do the same? I don't understand. And why is it so funny that every single time a player quits Genshin Impact and goes to Wuthering Waves, they just can't stop talking about Wuthering Waves? Genshin Impact, I should say. I will give the credit of the doubt that people like Sweetly and Rina and some others, very few, are actually really good Wuthering Waves content creator. And Maggie too, she was. Screw Saint Tontas for pushing her out. But these were actual good content creators of Wuthering Waves. And it has been completely replaced by these drama farmers, the Saint Tontas and the glaivekiyo. And when they decide to jump ship and go to the new game, it could possibly kill Wuthering Waves as a game. Let's hope that it doesn't. But it's gonna be dark time when they decide to jump ship.
that extends to the niche communities too. There were comments claiming I disrespected the TCG players. And I'm like, guys, I have a fully built deck. I actually play the game mode a lot before it got dried up. And that is exactly why I feel comfortable saying that the majority of the player base ignores it. It is literally my observation. And regarding Enkonomi,
That statement that majority of the player base ignores it is like selfish, because we have to come to the conclusion that it's a selfish look on the world. Because I don't like this, it means that everybody doesn't like it. I understand that there's a lot of people that really like TGC. I know there are tournaments about it. TGC, Genshin TGC. I know that there are tournaments that has been going on with it for a while. There are people that actually enjoy it. One thing that I may not like is something that somebody else will like, and that is the nuance of it. Like Genshin Impact is designed to play it however you want to play it. I've never really touched TGC as much because like I've been busy. Like if I was jobless and was in a situation like Saint Tontas where I don't work, I don't have real life responsibility, I don't have a girlfriend like Saint Tontas. If I was in those situations, then I can understand spending more time on gacha games. But uh, sadly, I have a girlfriend. I have a life outside of gacha. I have real world responsibilities. Like I don't have time to engage into every single aspect of the game in order to get bored. Like the whole premise of a gacha game to begin with was designed as a casual game to play once you come home from your long, stressful, boring work that is stressful as hell in these. That was the old aspect of gacha, true meaning of gacha gaming. Many of the East Western people don't really understand this, but that's just because they're not cultured enough.
Yeah, people got very angry when I said nobody goes back there. They called it the gold standard of atmosphere, and I agree. It is beautiful. The music is nice, the atmosphere is incredible, but it is also dead content. Once you finish the quest, once you finish the exploration, there is literally no reason to return. And when I criticize that, I am not hating on the map. I'm wishing that
That's Wuthering Waves, not Genshin Impact. That's what like I kid you not, that's Wuthering Waves, not Genshin Impact. There's a reason to go back in older region. Where the new thing that they came out with recently, which Genshin Impact did, where you can interact with characters in the overall actual characters of the game and you get into some lore with them and stuff like that, you can go back into those old areas. So let's say visit Klee or Barbara, Nicole, not Nicole, shit, sorry, Noel, and other characters. I visit Noel right behind the House of Avonius to practice some fighting moves and stuff like that. So Genshin Impact is an immersive game. It's not something that you should log in and then log out and then call it a day. And that is kind of what glaivekiyo and Saint Tontas want. glaivekiyo and Saint Tontas want a whole game to be so shallow that they can advertise Wuthering Waves to you as the better game that you will enjoy playing more of. So anything that Genshin Impact or Hoyoverse in themselves do to allow you to play the game a lot more, they won't like it because like it's not fitting the narrative that they're trying to push.
there were actual gameplay reasons, events, combat challenges, anything to go back to that location. I don't want Genshin to be a museum
And
I walk through once. I
this
want
is
it to be
bullshit because there are times when we get combat events, these little blue domains that will open up various challenges where we get to play around with certain mechanics. That, let's say, for example, I remember some of them specifically. Like when I was in Fontaine, we get called back to go to Sumeru. Got called back in Leeway for one. The Stingy and Onslaught, which everybody hates for some reason, was a callback to Leeway. They landed that in Leeway. They could have landed it easily in Natland because Natland was where we were at the time, but they landed it in Leeway. Like, bro, imagine him theater is in Mondstadt, and that didn't come out day one. So
a game I can play. Distinguishing between art and content doesn't make me a fake fan. It just means I know the difference between looking at a painting and playing a video game. And while we can debate vibes and tone all day, there is one area where the conversation got messy, and that is the mechanics. For Klee, it was an honest mistake on my part, right? They were talking about the optimizations right after the Hexerai buffs, so it sounded like the fix was a part of it, but a lot of comments and a lot of people on Twitter accused me of doom posting regarding Albedo. They pointed out that Albedo isn't strictly tied to Double Geo. He can work in Mualani teams or Electro Charge teams because of his
I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I kept the entire video as a whole. So this all makes sense now, doesn't it?
mental mastery buff. And you know what? Sure.
And this is another reason why people may call him a tourist, because he literally doesn't understand Albedo's kit.
Fair point. My fault is
I
that
really
my
didn't want to
tone
get
and
into
wording
it.
was too absolute in saying that he needs geo-resonance to function at all. But that doesn't change the fact that this system is bad. We need to distinguish.
How does it not change that? It is a buff. Regardless of whatever it is a buff.
Fix. For 5 years, Albedo's flower shattering on bosses wasn't a quirk, it was a mechanical failure. It made his kit feel broken and not in a good way. In Zelazone Zero or Star Rail, when they buff a character, it usually opens up more.
It's kind of stupid. Like, alright, look at it this way. Ellen Joe, day one, worked pretty fine. Right? But with the evolving of the enemies, Ellen Joe started facing issues, and that is why they buff her. Silverwolf worked pretty fine back then. Why? Because she had more value. There wasn't as much DPS in the game, so you kind of need Silverwolf in order to give the weakness of your current DPS, because there was just not enough DPS in the game at the time. You can only run the one or two or the few that was there, right? So our value was insane back then. The more casts got released over time, Silverwolf's value dropped significantly, hence why they had to buffer. The same thing with Ellen. With the amount of characters that started dropping, characters getting stronger and stronger, in order for her to compete, they had to buffer. This is the same thing that's happening with these old characters. These old characters in Genshin Impact that were lightly gathering dust on their account, gotten a little bit of life, and it's something interesting that people are going to be trying out. A lot of people are going to be trying out, because as I said, like, I got used for my Jingliu and my Kafka, and I do currently pay them to this day because they got revamped, and the revamp that they got was pretty good, pretty impressive. Like, he's not complaining about the buff, he's complaining that you have to have two characters together in order to activate this buff, which paints you as a hypocrite, because like that's the exact same thing that has been happening in Wuthering Waves from 2.0. The entirety of those units are reliant on another unit in order to function properly.
Or play styles. And here, in Genshin, it is doing the opposite. They're unlocking a fundamental fix, making the flower indestructible behind a restrictive team building condition. Why does Albedo need a chaperone to make his skill work properly? It restricts player freedom. Instead of letting us build teams creatively, they're handing us a script. And it's no coincidence that the character who fits that script perfectly, the one who unlocks the fix and provides the best synergy, is the new limited 5-star. And if you don't believe me,
there he goes with the misinformation again. The way it's painting this video, you would think that if you're uneducated, you would think that in order to get this buff, you would need to pull for Durin, because Durin is the reason. Let me check something real quick. Durin, not really good. Okay. We are here. Right? The way he's painting this narrative, you would think that Durin is what you need to activate the buff, when that's not the case. You can play Albedo with other characters apart from Durin, and this is just how he's just painting the narrative. It's just completely and utterly wrong.
let's look at the experts.
Don't see him being worth wishing for, but if you already have him, he's going to be a lot more useful. As we said earlier, you can put him on the Mulaney team. You can also use him as a core with Durin to activate the Hexarai buffs, and then basically run him with another Geo for Geo Resonance. That's usually how you're going to get the most value. So as a dual, you know, is a sub DPS for Navia, as a wheelchair core with Chiori, he helps activate her damage. And then, you know, Shalonen, you know, maybe helping wheelchair another pyro carry. Probably not going to be as good as these other two, but still all right. So basically, I think Albedo's will shine the most when paired with Durin outside of the Mulaney core.
Here, Jello confirmed it. While the free teams work, the premium experience, the version of Albedo where he feels best to play, is tied to Durin. This is a business plan. They created a restrictive passive so
Oh, okay. So I see what this is. So this is like because the other teams aren't blessed in slot means that they're not valuable at all, which kind of makes no sense. Like in order for you to have a best in slot, not because you have a best in slot team means that every other team is not gonna be good or work good. So you're gonna feel upset because you're not using the best in slot team. Kind of stupid. So then all the people that are using Zani and Arrow Rover and the Shorekeeper, I don't know if Shorekeeper, I don't remember who they're running the third slots. All of these people have to feel inferior and should go just uninstall the game because they're just not using the best in slot team. Like, are we not understanding the entire concept of best in slot? Like, a beta will have to have a best in slot, but guys, you don't need best in slot teams for Genshin Impact. There are other options, and other options work pretty good as well. They're not like garbage compared to the best in slot. Like it's best in slot or nothing. That doesn't make any sense. You're still wrong on that, glaivekiyo, by far.
they could sell Durin as the best key to unlock it. And I don't want future buffs to follow this pattern. If they ever decide to fix Daya, I don't want her fix to be locked behind a specific faction requirement just to function. I want buffs that gives us freedom, not buffs that force us to build specific teams. Calling that out isn't negativity, it is demanding better game design. And you can nitpick me all day about what I said, but
alright, it's glaivekiyo. I want you to make a video calling out all of Wuthering Waves 2.0 team. If you're not calling out all of Wuthering Waves 2.0 team as being predatory because you're required to have this character in order to activate another character, then you're a hypocrite. If you're not saying that in Yuno's kit, the 40% damage buff can only be activated by Augusta currently in the game. If you're not doing videos like that, then you're a hypocrite. Plain and simple.
standing on business and argue that there is a better way to implement the buff. And while we're on the subject of casuals and tourists, let's talk about Twitter. I saw the threads, I saw the essays of people calling me a casual, which I probably am, I guess, analyzing my emojis, and trying to diagnose my personality based on 280 characters. Now let me save you some time. I do not take Twitter seriously. I treat that app like a public bathroom wall. Half the time I'm trolling, and half the other time I'm barely paying attention. If you are writing a
That doesn't make any sense. We wouldn't have this video. Clearly, you're pissed off about it. Because if you're not pissed off about it, this video wouldn't be here. Like, you would say, let's do that. The fact that you went to the effort of making a 12-minute video, edited, and post it, you care. Stop lying.
thesis statement in my replies, trying to own me based on a shitpost. The joke is not on me, it is on you. But among the garbage, there was one tweet that actually
The joke is on you. Everybody has been laughing at you. I've been laughing at you for hours recently. Watching Gabby Kali the Yapper like dissect your entire video. Like, bro. Yeah. I've always known that glaivekiyo makes some brain dead dog shit takes, but like it's really nice seeing the entire community just completely dogging on him for being an idiot.
Sparked a real conversation. A few days ago, I asked a simple question. How do we feel about locking combat buffs behind a story quest? The response was loud.
So Genshin Impact does a lot of character buffs behind playing the game. How do you feel about that? Don't shoot. Retarded. Oh my god, bro. Shoot, I'm retarded. Prove it. So Genshin Impact. Yeah, I believe glaivekiyo may be retarded.
People accuse me of hating RPGs, of wanting to turn the game into a spreadsheet simulator, and of missing the depth that story adds. Let me be clear, I love the story. I love Venti. I have been following the lore since day one. My favorite Genshin creator is a lore channel, but there is a difference between story and homework. When you lock a
Who is it? Wei? Is it Akasha? Who is it? Who is their favorite lore? But my favorite lore CC is Wei. Apparently, haven't heard from that CC for a while. I'm really worried.
fundamental combat fix, like making Albedo's flower usable, behind a yap fest of dialogue for a character I might not care about, that isn't depth, that is a time tax. If I have to sit through, God forbid, 40 minutes official yapping just to unlock a passive ability for my team, that quest stops being a narrative experience and starts being a barrier to entry.
So then you're a Taurus, because only a Taurus would be complaining about playing the game. I need to drink some water because this is bullshit. Only a Taurus would complain about playing the game. 40 minutes is not a long time for somebody that doesn't have a job. Jobless. What other thing are you doing? You have nothing better to do, man. Shut the fuck up. Bro, shut the fuck up. You have nothing better to do. 40 minutes. Shut the fuck up.
It becomes a burden. And the idea that a real RPG don't let you skip is just false. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. It is arguably the greatest RPG of the decade. It has a skip button. Even visual novels like Doki Doki Literature Club have a skip button. Asking for a skip button isn't about hating the writing. It is about consent, right? 2025, consent is so good. It is about respecting the players enough to let them engage with the parts of the game they love and bypass the part that they don't. I want to watch Venti's
I don't want Genshin Impact to add a skip button because what are they gonna complain about? Like, if they add a skip button, they're gonna have to find something else to complain about. Like, Genshin Impact care about retarded content creators like Saint Tontas and glaivekiyo. They make sure that the skip button is there so that you guys can have content to put food on the table. Genshin Impact is truly a dev's listen game because Genshin Impact knows that you idiots don't have anything to do, so they make sure that you have something to complain about, something easy to complain about. Because look at it, reaching to find issues with buffs that are generally pretty good for the characters shows how desperate you are in trying to find other reason to hate on Genshin Impact. So I understand how Genshin Impact is looking out for the poor, looking out for the desperate content creators like Saint Tontas and glaivekiyo that don't really have any talent when it comes down to playing the games. So the only thing they can do is rage bait with misinformation.
quest because I care about Venti. I love him, but I don't want to be held hostage by a side quest just to fix my character's kit. Like, who cares about Mona? I mean, you do, probably. I don't. Wanting that agency doesn't make you a hater. It just means you value your time. And I shouldn't be harassed for that. God. Now let's go to the next point.
I do love
retracted my bait
Mona.
analogy earlier because yes, the base tools in Miliastra are free. But let's talk about why they are free. Right? They are free because Hoyoverse needs us to build the game for them. During dry patches like version 6.1, Miliastra Wonderland relies entirely on unpaid player labor to generate levels and keep engagement high. We are the ones building the content. And what is our reward?
Still don't understand what is wrong with that. That is the exact same thing that happened in Roblox. The exact same thing that happened in Roblox. This is a lot of people really like this. There's a lot of people that are genuinely happy and love the game to the point that they will do this shit for free. Like, I understand it might not be for you or for me. Like, I wouldn't be doing things for free, but like, if somebody genuinely enjoys and love building and creating, this is a way to showcase what they have and in talent. And these people that create these content because he doesn't want to read, Genshin Impact can hire them and will be paying them in compensation for creating these games. I pretty much sure this is another misinformation. You're doing misinformation inside the video that you're trying to apologize for spreading misinformation while actively spreading misinformation. Like, you will be compensated for creating stuff in Genshin's new UCG. Like, let me even fact check this for now. I'm bad at spelling, so I don't remember everything. But like, user created UCG or UGC. I don't remember which one it is. This is because I don't play it as much. Okay, so yes, creators can be compensated with real money for popular and high quality game modes they create within Genshin Impact user generated content system. So I was right. You will be compensated for creating games if they become very popular. So there are monetary incentives to this. You're trying to paint the picture. You're lying literally in this video, spreading misinformation again. And I'm gonna comment it on it and see like if you're gonna remove this. Yes. Sorry about that. I'm gonna be watching this. I'm not gonna react to it because like it's a reaction video, but I'm gonna be watching it. Oh, please don't, please don't, please don't. All right, got that covered. So in the video where you're apologizing for spreading misinformation, you're actively spreading misinformation. It doesn't look good at all.
Award for keeping their game alive? The opportunity to gamble on a separate, expensive cosmetic gacha? This is what I mean by monetizing the ecosystem. We provide the labor, the levels, the fun, the reason to log in. In a fair trade, a billion-dollar company would reward that labor with high-quality skins, earnable in-game every patch. Instead, the best outfits are locked behind the Ode banner, or in my opinion, the paid battle pass. It feels exploitative because the relationship is one-sided. Defending that as business isn't positive. It is accepting a bad deal. And regarding the new boss fights, people called me a doom poster for pretending it would be restrictive. They said I was crying before the content was even out. But this isn't blind hate. It is pattern recognition. If you look at the last few endgame cycles, the bosses have increasingly required specific units from the new region to clear comfortably. That is a fact. Predicting that the next boss will follow the same trend is not doom posting, it is just paying attention. And even the biggest lovers of the game have complained about this exact same restrictive design in the past. We are seeing the exact same problem. I am just the one saying it.
All right, so I have mentioned this earlier in the video, but I'm gonna mention it again. Like, no, like, even though I complain about the old issue where I was trying to brute force the end game at 412, but like, it was the hyper boom crab where I had to use hyper boom reaction while they jump up in the middle of the year. It's on me for not building hyper boom characters. I have the tools to do it. I think I get Yao Yao for free too, but I have the team that I'm building currently to do it is gonna be Kitchen because I want to give her some use. Uh, I know Llama and Kuku Shinobu. Like I could use my Tainari with Yao Yao and is Sucrose and who is the Hydro character? I think Farina have there. I can use that team, but it's because I want to see Llama's big boo, but I could use the Tainari team. I have Tainari with some really good relics on him as well. So I it's just my fault for not building a Hyperboom team. Like the game buffs are not like say bring Natlan units or bring Nordcry units. The buffs are normally general. Once your team is built pretty good, you can clear endgame even at 412, even by brute forcing it. The only reason why I couldn't do it is because the crab like that's fly up in the air for like 10 million hours. It sucks.
It out loud before the patch drops, and if the boss isn't restrictive and it's actually good, hey, you got me. But until then, I'm gonna stand on business. And finally, we have to talk about quality of life. The irony here that even the most positive voices in the community admit that the daily commission system is outdated. They agree that running to Catherine is just commute. So here's my question. If even the biggest defenders of the game admit that Genshin is lagging behind its sister games like Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, why am I the villain for putting it in a script? It is not bad faith to ask Genshin to meet the standards set by its own developers. It is not nitpicking to ask the oldest child in the Hoyoverse family is the only one still treating our time like it doesn't matter. I don't want the game to fail, and that's surprising, right? I don't. I just want it to catch up. When you strip away all of the drama, the tweets, the reactions,
You know the worst part about it is that Genshin will not fail, regardless of how hard glaivekiyo try or Saint Tontas try. And they have truly been trying their ridiculous hardest, and it just has not worked. When do you all just get tired and just say, screw it? Because it's just not working. It's not working. And the reason why they're not saying screw it is because they're literally just forming their entire audience of blind Hoyo haters. And that's just it. When they jump to the new ship, are they going to be talking about their game? No. We're gonna be talking about Genshin Impact and how X new game that come out 5, 6, 7 years compared to Genshin is better. And the comparisons are always in their favor. You will never hear them compare Xenozone Zero's NPC to Wooden Race NPC because Xenozone Zero will always win. They will never ever compare Genshin's music to Wooden Race music because Genshin will always win. They always want to compare on the things that they know that they can win so they can say, oh, we win in this. We have better this than a 5-year-old game that was built for older systems. It's very funny.
Videos, the dislike ratio, the conflict here isn't actually about love versus hate. It is about contentment versus ambition. A large part of the community looks at Genshin Impact as it exists today, and they are happy. They see a finished product and they enjoy it for what it is. And that is a valid way to play. Hey, good for you. And I mean this genuinely, good for you. But I look at Genshin Impact and I see what it could be. I criticize the game because I see the potential being held back by stubborn design choices. I see a world that could be more respectful of our time, system that could be more respectful of our wallets, and gameplay that could be more respectful of our intelligence. I made factual mistakes in my life.
And that's why you're stupid, glaivekiyo. Because Genshin Impact has been going on for 5 years now. Almost 6. So I'm seeing Genshin as finished. I'm just here to see what the story lies and then that's it. And when I leave, is when they're gonna be implementing all the changes that we all wanted, and I will say, it's too late. I'm gone. Screw you guys. When you should have implemented that shit, you didn't implement it. I'm gone. But you're here trying to advocate for changes that you know that they're not gonna do. And the more you advocate for these specific changes, if they're that important, the more they're gonna fight back and not want to implement it for some weird reason. I don't know why. But as I see it, the only reason I play Genshin Impact currently is because I want to see where the story lies. I'm for the story. And after that, then I'm done. This is why the skip button serves no purpose for me. Because why do I need the skip button? The only problems that I really have with Genshin Impact is the fact that they're putting core lure events in limited time events that if you start today, you're gonna miss out the entirety of it, and then you have to experience it through YouTube, which is something that I don't want to do because I like first-hand experience. I don't like watching it from a screen because like I feel detached from the story. If you kind of get what I mean. It is what it is.
Last video regarding the patch history, and I apologize. I'm sorry. I own it, but I will not apologize for having standards. I want the game to respect my time with better quality of life features. I want it to respect my money by not monetizing community labor, and I want it to respect my agency by letting me build teams that make sense rather than teams that just fix a broken mechanic. And here's the bottom line. I would rather be wrong about a specific patch number and have to correct myself than be dishonest about the reality of the game just to keep the peace, just to go away from the drama life, just to be, oh, this positive creator. No, I'm not about that. But let me know what you think in the comments.
Oh my god, that comment was absolutely right. He literally did not address the real issue. Period. Not at all. He didn't react to it one bit. This guy right here, let me see if I can find it. Real quick for you guys, right? Where was it? See? I just realized he didn't even touch showing Alice. not this one. The most no. 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 Yeah. I love how he barely talks about the actual issue of his video and instead spend all the time talking about how much he loves Genshin. It's fucking true. He doesn't even talk about the app. That's because he knows it was them. Also, the Jello clip, bro, literally says that Albedo could be played with Molani but Glaive doesn't even mention it. LOL. Because he's not. He's trying to say meta. Like I think Malani is gonna be stronger than the Dorian team by far, or close to it. It's just that it's a premium team. It's just the way Jello Impact normally always talk about his videos. He like funny enough, this is his video right here. He kind of tests all the units